Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon Offem, and here are our top stories. Peter Obi reaffirms intention to contest for 2027 presidential poll. Resident doctors threaten fresh strike over unfulfilled agreement. DSS arrests suspected killers of Professor Ephraim in Cross River. Federal government's rights of $1.42 billion and 5.57 trillion naira NNPC debt. Outside Nigeria, Mexico train crash kills 13 and injures almost 100 rather. And in sport, Amad Diallo scores again as Ivory Coast and Cameroon draw 1-1 in AFCON. Those are our top stories. Details coming up now. We begin the world news at 12 with party politics that former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has confirmed his intention to contest the 2027 presidential poll. Obi made the declaration on Sunday night while speaking during an X Spaces discussion where he addressed supporters and clarified his political ambitions. The former governor of Anambra State said that he would only be running for president, firmly ruling out the possibility of serving as a running mate to any candidate. According to him, his years of preparation and exposure to governance were not aimed at occupying the office of vice president. He insisted that he knows how to turn Nigeria around, reiterating that he built his business from scratch and have more experience than any candidate, including the sitting president. He expressed confidence that he will be on the ballot in 2027, urging for support and prayers. Obi was the Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, where he emerged as a strong challenger to the two dominant parties, drawing significant support from young voters and urban centres across the country. Following the election, Obi and the Labour Party contested the outcome, alleging irregularities in the process. However, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal and later the Supreme Court upheld the victory of President Bola Tinubu. Before his 2023 presidential run, Obi served 2 terms as governor of Anambra State. Still on party politics, the opposition African Democratic Congress ADC and the Labour Party LP have criticized President Bola Tinubu for departing Nigeria for Europe on holiday at a time the country is grappling with rising insecurity, including foreign military interventions in the north. The presidency announced on Sunday that Tinubu left Lagos for Europe for his end-of-year holiday ahead of an official visit to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, where he is scheduled to attend the 2026 edition of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week Summit. President Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, explained that the trip was by invitation from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE, to participate in the summit, which gathers global leaders from government, business and civil society to advance sustainable development strategies. Reacting to Tinubu's departure, the ADC, in a statement by International Publicity Secretary Bola Abdullahi, faulted the timing as inappropriate given the security challenges facing the country. The ADC noted the deadly terrorist bomb blast in Zamfara and the ongoing foreign military involvement, calling the president's move insensitive. Similarly, LP's acting national chairman, Senator Nenadi Usman, described the trip as insensitive and devoid of empathy for Nigerians facing violent attacks and humanitarian crises. Speaking during her senior special advisor, media, Ken Osagwa, she stressed that the president should have remained in the country to coordinate security responses. She further alleged that the severity of the situation. She added that the president had not convened critical security meetings since the US-led bombardment of terrorist camps in Kwara and Sokoto states, and condemned the perceived lack of engagement with military leadership. The Nigerian Medical Association, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors (NARD), has warned that the country may nationwide shutdown of medical services following the federal government's failure to honor a memorandum of understanding previously signed with the association. In an urgent appeal to senior medical professionals and respected leaders, posted on X on Sunday entitled "Urgent Appeal to Avert a Looming Nationwide NARD Strike TICS 2.0", NARD Secretary General Dr. Shuaibu Ibrahim cautioned that the nation was on the brink of a total and indefinite comprehensive strike. The association said the strike would be the inevitable result of the federal government, Federal Ministry of Health, and the federal government ignoring multiple deadlines for implementing the MOU signed with resident doctors. NARD recalled that it suspended its indefinite strike on November 29 after 29 days of industrial action following the signing of an MOU with the government. Under the agreement, the government committed to meeting NARD's demands within 4 weeks. The association, however, warned that it will resume a total, indefinite, and comprehensive strike if the federal government failed to implement the agreed demands within the stipulated 4 weeks. NARD emphasized that resident doctors form the backbone of service delivery in Nigeria's tertiary hospitals, adding that they are overworked and increasingly demoralized. The association called on senior medical elders to intervene, saying their influence could compel the government to act and avert another nationwide crisis in healthcare services. Operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) have arrested the suspected killers of a professor of neurology, Ekanem Philip Ephraim, nearly 2 years after the murder. According to reports, the gang leader is a 24-year-old Patrick Essien Etham and his accomplice Basi Andaga Asukwo, age 40. The suspects were apprehended at a medical facility in Cross River State on December 27 while planning to kidnap another medical bigwig. The DSS had been tracking the kidnap ring since Ephraim's killing in July 2023 when gunmen posing as patients abducted her. The duo was said to have confessed to the crime, admitting that they killed the professor after collecting multiple ransom payments from her family. The source noted that the suspect admitted to kidnapping other victims and vandalizing electricity cables with one Isaac Ekpenyong, who was also arrested by the operatives. Professor Kanem was abducted on 13th of July 2023 by unknown gunmen who posed as patients at a private clinic at Atimbo Road, Calabar. A kidnapping sparked statewide protest by the state chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA). The Medical Association had embarked on an indefinite strike which crippled the health sector for over a week in a bid to prevail on government to rescue the professor. President Bola Tinubu has approved the cancellation of a substantial portion of the debt owed by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to the Federation account, wiping off about $1.42 billion and 5.57 trillion naira after a reconciliation of records between both parties. This is contained in a document prepared by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) and presented at the November meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAAC). The report, titled Report of October 2025 Revenue Collection, presented at the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting held on 18th November 2025, was released to journalists. In a section headed Recovery from NNPC Limited Outstanding Obligations, the committee said the debts earlier reported at the October 2025 FAAC meeting stood at $1 billion, $1,480,210,652.58 and $6,332,884,316,307.13 naira for PSC, DSDP, RA and MCA liftings and JV and PSC royalty receivables respectively. It disclosed that the presidency had now approved that most of those balances be removed from the federation's books. The document stated, however, that the commission recently received a presidential approval to nil off the outstanding obligations of NNPC Limited as at 31st December 2024, as submitted by the Stakeholders Alignment Committee on the reconciliation of indebtedness between NNPC Limited and the Federation. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll go straight to our analysis segment. So we have Peter Anosike. He's a current affairs analyst. He's also an academic doctor with PhD on consulting and profits management with Brenner University in the state of Delaware, United States. He is also the author of the book Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Dr. Anosike, thank you very much for joining us on the news at 12.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's go to the first topic for discussion, where it Peter Obi, after not hearing from him for a while, obviously he's been tweeting here and there, he had a meeting on X yesterday where he talked about a couple of things, including the fact that he will be contesting for the presidency come 2027, insisting he is not going to be vice president to any candidate. What do you think about that?
Well, I wonder why Nigerians don't think deep. Nobody runs for vice president. Understand?
True.
So Peter Obi cannot tell you, I'm going to run for vice president. Nobody runs for vice president. Nobody runs for deputy governor. These two positions are based on selection and appointment. So Peter Obi said that he is going to run for president, and nobody should expect anything less from him, because he cannot run for vice, because nobody runs for vice. So he is joining. He is officially declaring for ADC because he has been with them right from time. Understand? He has been one of the leaders of the coalition. So, but he is officially declaring on the 31st of December. Understand?
Okay.
So, and he is joining the coalition to go, as we say in football, fight for shit. Just as everybody fought for shit when APC had their primaries in 2014. Buhari contested, Atiku contested, and other people, but Buhari won. So the same thing is going to happen in ADC in 2026. So he is going there to fight for the presidential candidacy of the party. Understand? Like other people who have shown interest. Rotimi Amechi said that he's not going to step down for anybody, that he's running for the vice president. So you, Solomon, you can also say that you are running for the vice president, for the president, that you are not going to step down for anybody. So that is politics.
So what happens if he doesn't win the presidency in ADC? What if Atiku wins?
Until then, we are not prophets or seers. Understand? Every politician is an optimist. Understand?
Definitely.
every politician is an optimist, even those who cannot even win their local governments. So when they reach the bridge,
but that's where the problem lies, though, because one would have expected that there will be it was pretty much when he left. When he left the PDP to Labour Party.
A rigged primary? Do you want a rigged primary?
No, it's not a rigged.
Not everybody go and contest.
Well, will you call what happened in Lagos Labour Party a rigged primary when he came out as the president?
There was no primary.
Exactly, that's what some people. Were expecting.
So you don't want a primary in a coalition.
Well, they would have been confident if not the fact that the ADC has been termed an Atiku coalition, though. So if an ADC has been termed an Atiku coalition, though, that's not exactly a playing field for Peter Obi to be the flag bearer.
Don't believe the lies of your enemy. Don't believe the propaganda of APC. Understand?
That wasn't a propaganda from APC. I mean, the news is everywhere that
is Atiku and coalition.
I mean, it's all over the place.
Who is saying that? If not APC?
The question have been, thrown to even him, Peter Obi, on few interviews, with that same statement, an Atiku coalition. That's where the confusion is. That's where
there's no confusion.
Pessimism is.
When APC was formed, whose coalition was it in 2014? It was a
Tinubu coalition.
It was a Tinubu coalition.
Yes.
In 2014.
Yes.
How was it? Was it?
I mean, we all know it was Tinubu that gathered these different parties to form APC, and it was from the onset we know that Buhari, he's going to be backing Buhari in that coalition, and when it was his time, he's going to be his turn as presidency, and that's exactly what played out.
But why was there a primary?
I mean, it was just we all know the primary was just a formality.
Okay, so 2027 or the primary, 2026 the primary is also going to be a formality.
That's what some people were expecting.
P2B is joining, and as we speak, that's among the youths. That made up 65% of the Nigerian population. P2B is leading among the youths. Understand? He is going there like any other person. Understand? To see if he can get the ticket. And David Mark said that they have agreed that whoever gets the ticket, other people will support him. And understand me? Nobody was born president. Atiku wasn't born president. P2B was not born president. What is them? Rotimi Amechi was not born president.
Well, but sometimes
they should go there
sometimes they act like they do. I mean, the current president, when he said, "Miloko, it is my turn to be president,"
and not that he was born as a president.
And some people agreed with it,
and not that he was born president. So let them get there, and whoever wins, let others support him. What we are looking for is a better Nigeria. Understand? For me, provided Nigeria work, I don't care where all the president comes from.
In a normal situation, that's how it's supposed to be.
Even if the person is come from Cameroon or Guinea, provided that Nigeria is working, that's my own concern. So whoever would turn Nigeria around, let that person win.
Okay, to the next topic for discussion quickly. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has warned that the country may soon face another nationwide shutdown of medical services following the federal government's failure to honor MOU previously signed by the association. And this is coming at a time where there've been a cry that lots of medical practitioners are leaving the country, talking about the Jackpot syndrome, talking about the brain drain. And recently, we hear statistics of 16,000 nurses, registered nurses in Nigerian trained nurses in UK. This is sad. This is another sad situation.
Well, for me, these people are not showing seriousness. Understand? And they are not following. They are not being proactive.
The federal government or the medical practitioners?
The medical practitioners. Okay. Not be exist everywhere in the world. Understand me?
Okay.
Not be exist everywhere in the world. In 2026 budget, what they have for the health sector is 2.4 trillion.
Okay.
That's what they have for in a country of 220 million. The budget for health in 2026 is 2.4 trillion, which is not even enough for Lagos State alone. Understand me? And these people saw this, they kept
quiet.
So at times our problem is in our hand. Understand? Bible say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. You must shout, you must speak, you must make noise. You must not be. Understand me? Okay. You must not be. We want more in the budget. Don't wait for them to package whatever they want, come and present to you before you start making noise. Once the budget here is coming to an end, start making noise. Understand me? You should be proactive. They are not, and they know that they are dealing with very slippery people. APC is a slippery party with slippery individuals. Understand me? So you have to hold them by the jugular that to get what you want. Maybe they don't know the kind of people that constitute APC. Understand? They are not gentlemen. You must not treat them in a gentle form. This is what Nigeria must know.
So you
APC are not gentle people. You must not treat them gently.
So you think they should be much more aggressive? And
they should be aggressive.
How
they
aggressive?
Should be proactive.
So you think strike is not aggressive enough?
What strike? I said what is in the budget for 2026 is 2.4 trillion naira for health. 2.4. In all the budgets in the world, health and education consume most of the budget. But here in Nigeria, health and education are the least in the budget. Understand? And they are seeing this. They are not shouting. They are not making noise. For me, we will blame them also. And understand? I will start with blaming them because they are not doing what they are supposed to do.
And then finally, because of time, the President Bola Tinubu has approved the cancellation of substantial portion of the debt owed by the NNPCL to the Federation account, wiping off $1.42 billion and 5.57 trillion naira after reconciliation of records between both parties. What do you make of that?
One, who incurred that debt? That should be the question. How was that debt incurred? Was it cancelled as a bad debt, or somebody has put it in his pocket preparing for 2027? Understand me? How did that debt come about? Understand? So this is the question that Nigerians should ask. If you can cancel debt, cancel the tax that is starting next month. Understand? Tinubu also cancelled their so-called tax reform bill. So the issue is this: how did that debt come about? Who incurred it? Understand? Was it
question?
So
that's a good question.
That's the question. Who incurred it? Understand? So the person that incurred it should explain how it has become a bad debt for the president to cancel it. The problem with Nigeria, we are not asking tough questions. We are not asking the right questions.
Unfortunately, we have to go. We have to end it here. Thank you very much, Dr. Anosike. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
That's Peter Anosike, a current affairs analyst. He's also an academic doctor with PhD on consulting and profit management from Bernard University in the state of Delaware, US. He's the author of the book Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. And for a quick look at what's happening outside Nigeria, at least 13 people died and almost 100 were injured in a train derailment in Mexico's southeastern Oaxaca region in the Mexican Navy said. The train, which was traveling between the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific Ocean, was carrying 241 passengers and 9 crew members. A total of 98 were injured, of whom 36 were being treated in hospital, the Navy said. The train derailed as it rounded a bend near the town of Nizanda, officials said. Mexico's Attorney General confirmed an investigation was underway. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said 5 of those injured were in a serious condition. She said top-level officials, including the Secretary of Navy, were traveling to the site of the crash. Photos from the site of the crash showed rescue workers helping passengers alight the train, which they had fallen off the rail tracks and pretty tilted and partly tilted over the side of a cliff. The interoceanic train, which connects the Pacific port of Salina Cruz with Cozacolos on the Gulf of Guinea, on the Gulf Coast, had 2 locomotives and 4 passenger cars. Mexico's Navy operates the country's railway network. And now to sports news. Amad Diallo scored his second goal of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON as holders Ivory Coast drew with Cameroon in an enthralling clash between the tournament heavyweights in Marrakesh. In a much anticipated early showdown between 2 potential challengers for the title, Junior Chamadeo struck a deflected equalizer less than 6 minutes after Amadas had exquisitely curled the elephants in front as part of a result which ensured both sides remain a point clear of Mozambique at the top of Group F and also eliminates Gabon. Manchester United forward Amad, who scored the only goal in his country's opening win over Mozambique, collected Jocelyn Conan's cross-field pass on a counter-attack and produced an effort worthy of watching France striker Kylian Mbappe from the edge of the box, finding the far corner of Davies passes net to break the deadlock in the 51st minute. His strike was part of an extraordinary flurry of action at the start of the second half, arriving shortly after Ivory Coast's Frank Kessie had a deft finish ruled out for offside, and Danny Namasu hit the crossbar via 2 deflections at the other end. A relatively quiet first period offered uncompromising intensity and glimpses of the entertainment to come, including a shot against the woodwork by Cameroon debutant Christian Kofane. All 4 Group F teams played their third and final matches of the initial stage on Wednesday, when Ivory Coast faced Gabon in Marrakesh and Cameroon meet Mozambique in Agadir. And just before we go, here again are our top stories. Peter Obi reaffirms intention to contest 2027 presidential election. Resident doctors threaten fresh strike over unfulfilled agreement. DSS arrests suspected killers of Professor Ephraim in Cross River. Federal government writes off $1.42 billion and 5.57 trillion naira NNPC debt. Outside Nigeria, Mexico train crash kills 13 and injures almost 100. And in sport, Amadou Diallo scores again as Ivory Coast and Cameroon draw 1-1 in AFCON. And that's the world is at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon of FM. Do follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.